Keith, Tigers had a 4-0 lead last night at Seattle. Entering the 7th inning, pitcher Michael Fulmer had only given up 3 hits. Then the roof caved in. The Tiger pitching staff walked 4 of the first 6 hitters in that inning, and they allow 5 runs. They lose the game 5-4. Ron Gardenhire, what happened?
Oh, really, really well. The ball was coming out of his hand. You know, he'd worked on some things really hard in his last bullpen session, and you know what? He gave us a great chance to win a ball game. Giving up 2 runs into the 7th inning is nothing. We just didn't come in the bullpen and finish the job.
Outfielder Leonis Martin was activated for the 10-day DL with a left hamstring. He immediately was inserted as the leadoff hitter. Tigers sent pitcher Ryan Carpenter down to AAA Toledo. Mike Fiers tonight for the Tigers against James Paxton, who recently threw a no-no for Seattle. 9:10, you can hear it right here on 97.1 The Ticket. That's the first pitch. Stanley Cup playoffs. How about the Las Vegas Golden Knights? Just 1 victory away from the Stanley Cup Finals for the expansion team. With a 3-2 win over Winnipeg last night, they lead 3-2 tonight. Washington at Tampa. Stevie Y's team going against the Caps. That series tied at 2. We'll drop the puck at 7:15. NBA tonight. Cleveland hosting the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals at 8:30. Celtics lead it 2-0. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Radio, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Alrighty, good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. And look who we have over to my right, filling in for Mr. Harry Glanz, Becky Alley. All right.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Lots of energy this morning, and Becky brings in Chris Dayton from eXp Realty.
Yep.
And eXp Realty's in Nova and, of course, across the country now, but it's great to have you here, Chris.
Yeah,
you're
thanks.
back. This is your new life. You were back as a real estate agent at another office a year ago or so.
Yeah. Yep. Glad to be here, though.
Well, it's great to have all the experience here. And, of course, Becky's going to fill in the gaps for me. And we'll be talking mortgages and real estate and a whole bunch of exclusive ideas, hopefully a couple new ideas on how to get your offer accepted. Of course, we take your calls here live in the studio at 248-539-9797. Always at Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's 1-800-569-7283. That's easy enough. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We do loans everywhere. Becky, it's really great to have you here because, I'll pop by the office every now and then to sort of get your vibe on what's going on. And, of course, Chris, the talk of the town all year, really this year specifically, is the inventory situation. Chris, you brought some numbers in, and we know from our approved buyers, there's multiple offers on every house that's nice. It's not like you're not going to make an offer without competing with another offer.
Right. You've got low inventory, and even in part of that, too, is the low inventory is not even good inventory. So you have low inventory of no houses available, period. Yeah. And, the stats are crazy about where we're at year over year. And we were just talking about that I've got right here in front of me from April, RealComp put out that the month supply is at 2.2.
Yeah.
2.2 months of supply. What that basically means is that if we didn't add any new listings to the market, then we would be out of houses to sell in 2 months.
Right around July 4th, there'd be no other homes on the market.
No houses. You couldn't even get anything.
I actually read last night the national average is like 3.2. We're actually way under even that national average.
Yeah, we're down 29% from this time last year. And this is the spring market. This is when everybody's supposed to be listing their home. This is hot. There's so many houses that are going to flood the market, and they're just not. They're being picked up. And there's not a lot. It's a real problem.
You sort of mentioned in there, and I know Becky, when he said there are not a lot of great houses out there.
Yeah.
We're doing those FHA 203Ks. Also the conventional loan, the renovation loans. Those are popular, and people can get these. If you want to, do you know a little bit about those? If you want to dive in on, if you got a few of those going.
If you're looking to buy a house, it's a little bit of a fixer upper. We're going to look to get your, the type of what needs to be updated on the house, you're going to be putting in there. Into your bids, you're going to finance that into the mortgage as well. So let's just say you need a big ticket item, which is a bathroom, kitchen, right? It's going to be $50,000. You're looking to buy the house for $100,000. You can turn around and finance it for $140,000, and then boom, you got it right there. You don't have to dip into your liquid assets.
Right, and we see that a lot of families taking advantage of those, especially with the home equity loans not necessarily being tax deductible anymore. So you got to check with your CPA on that. We've also had a lot of clients taking a look at doing the cash out refinances, which has been cool.
huge
Some
right
of
now.
them are just even doing it to fix up their house, Chris, to even get it on the marketplace. So there's a lot of cool things happening in the mortgage world. I think this year, I feel more than any other year recently, things have changed. And whether it's the way we sell houses or the way you buy a house, things have changed a little bit. And it's just not like it was really in the Wild West, we called the 2000s, where anyone was getting a house and they were building them and everyone owned a $400,000 or $500,000 house. We don't see that. And we don't see the type of building out there that we had in the early 2000s. And we're missing out. We need those homes.
Well, yeah, in 2008 when everything crashed, what also crashed was the number of builders. We lost half of the builders in the country. It went from 1.4 million builders down to 700,000. Now that number's back up to about 110,000 builders, whatever. But those builders that are coming back, they're not building entry-level homes.
Right.
They're building $400,000 homes in Northville and Macomb and because they can, because the market's there for them to do it. But they're also not doing it at a pace that is going to satisfy, the lack of inventory that we have.
Now, here's something I want to point out too for new construction homes. A lot of people, when you're going to pick out your base price, you're going to add your big ticket items, your upgrades, your finishes, that kind of thing.
Upgraded lot, let's say,
Correct.
and then they start getting into some other more exclusive items.
Right. A big thing that people are not taking into consideration is what are those taxes going to be? So you get 50, 60% into the transaction and you're now getting these taxes that are not fully assessed. We have to calculate for them, and people are getting that little bit of a sticker shock when they're finding out these taxes are $9,000, $10,000. They're like, whoa, wait a minute. So it's good to get with a mortgage professional that's going to be ahead of the curve there and get that information to you as quickly as possible. So that way you are fully aware that you can afford this home when it's completed after you've already signed a $10,000 promissory note, if you're familiar with that and if you've ever tried to build a new home.
Yeah, right.
Also, the HOA. A lot of these new builds that have they have an HOA that they haven't established what those fees are going to be.
Right.
And that can drastically change your monthly payment.
Right, HOA, Homeowners Association. Again, most of the new subdivisions are some form of either maybe a site condominium. We're seeing quite a few of those. The builders are able to build more homes, get the licensing, and get their permits a lot faster by presenting a site condominium project to the building in the local cities and the local building codes. So yes, there are these $400 or $500. Sometimes you see them $700, $800 annual fees to keep the properties up. But as you mentioned, also some of the projects have monthly fees. And you got to take in all that in consideration. Lots to talk about this morning, always here on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We want to hear from you, 248-539-9797, always live here in the studio. Of course, mortgage rates have been rising for several weeks now. They're pretty much at all-time highs. We haven't seen them this high since 2010. Or actually it was 2011 on Wednesday is actually where we sort of peeked back and took a look where things were back about 7 years ago. But again, your interest rate's based on several factors, and I think families need to know even that a little bit more, Beck.
Correct.
Is that not only is it, there's an interest rate out there that's a standard so people can get a barometer, but again, every loan is different. I sort of wrote that, is every single transaction has their own set of circumstances.
Yeah, just like me and you are completely different. Every mortgage is completely different. Every buyer is completely different. No one's situation or circumstances are the same. So when you're getting comments of, well, my aunt's cousin's sister twice removed, they didn't have to do that for their mortgage. Well, they also don't have the same debts. They don't have the same goals. They don't have the same job. So you have to understand that every single solitary mortgage is different. So that's why it's important to get with the correct professionals that we're going to identify the problems before they're a problem. We're going to point out these situations that we need to address. And again, your credit, that it does affect the interest rate. So when someone got a mortgage in 2016, 17, when the mortgage interest rates were almost a full % lower than where they are right now, you have to take into consideration that it's a different animal out there right now. It's different.
Right, and there's some other choices out there too. You mentioned, of course, credit would impact what your interest rate's going to be. So you get your credit score for sure. That's going to impact it.
Correct.
The loan program you're getting is going to impact what the interest rate is, and then also other things like loan to value. And whether or not this is going to be your primary residence or an investment or a second home. So there are several different factors that make up an individual's interest rate. And like you said, so many people have different situations going on. One of the things in the mortgage world that we see is, of course, we want to make it a nice, smooth transaction for the real estate agents. We want them to be able to refer us business, them confidently knowing that we're going to be able to close a transaction. But we're still seeing, Beck, I think you'll see it.
Yeah.
We're still seeing some families that are coming to us and they don't have their ducks in a row. Like they literally... they might be approved and very approvable, but they might not necessarily have their funds together. And that's been an interesting hurdle that I've seen over the last couple months that I wish more families would get out there. And it's not pushing buttons. It's talking to individuals like us.
Yeah, it's finding out what your value proposition is from the beginning with us, with Capital Mortgage Funding, and you as a client, is what your goals are, what we're trying to assess. And also the biggest thing is don't self-sabotage yourself. It's very important that everyone understands that there's certain things that are going to elicit a response out of an underwriter. Understand that if you make these certain large deposits over a certain percentage of what your annual income is, that's going to have to be documented. So we need to make sure we're having those conversations in the beginning so that way we're setting the stage for a successful mortgage closing.
Right. And not only that, you got cash on hand situations regarding some families don't understand that they can't necessarily use the money that they've been saving underneath the bed and things of that nature. Did you want to jump in on that?
I want to say something about that because, as a listing agent, when I get offers that come in, I put more stock into somebody who has a letter from a local company. And that local company, because I know that they didn't just push a bunch of buttons and be like, oh, yeah, I didn't have to talk to anybody, da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm pre-approved. No, I want to know that they actually talked to somebody. I want to know that they've talked to a Harvey or a Becky or anyone at Capital. And because that gives me confidence because I have to represent the seller. Right?
And I'm going to make sure this closes in 30 days.
It's got to get to the finish line. It's not even about getting the contract. It's about getting to the finish line.
There you go.
Correct.
All those good stuff, all those great things that we're going to talk about, selling, buying homes, 248-539-9797. When we come back, all of your calls.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere.
All right, welcome back to the show. 917 if you're just joined us. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 18th year of giving you some great information here. Hope you give us a call at 248-539-9797. Always a full staff at Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's 1-800-569-7283. Deal with real mortgage professionals. Get a real mortgage approval. And how about this? Get educated on what you're about to sign and what you're about to do. We still see it nonstop at the office. Some families still just signing. And we asked, did you read the contract? And there's a lot of no's.
How about ask some questions?
Questions. Get some answers.
Ask some questions
like that
are going to prevent you from failing at the transaction.
There you go.
Yeah, how about that? The dissemination of accurate versus inaccurate information.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that come up in real estate still. We've gotten away for a couple of things that actually came up this week. We've gotten away in the mortgage industry on plotted subdivisions, doing surveys, mortgage surveys, because the lines don't change, the subdivisions don't change. And sure enough, I got a call from an old friend, and he had a situation where he bought a property in the last couple of years, and it turns out that his property lines aren't where he thought they were. So there's a lot of things you can do up front by having more professional people, real estate agents, mortgage people, just involved in the transaction to help you prepare yourself for that up and coming purchase. All right, let's go to a few calls now. 248.
$97.1. The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back. 9:17 if you're just joining us. Let's talk about the weather here in Michigan. That's some blah, blah, blah weather out there, but...
Yeah, I thought I was going to get completely poured on when I was like running in here as quickly as I can.
It's warm. It's springtime here in Michigan. Why not go out and enjoy the day anyways? And I still say every day is a great day, as Mr. Glanz would tend to agree with me on that one for sure. But lots of good things happening out there. Chris, we'll go to, let's go to this call and then we'll dive into some other things out there. We've got Martin calling in from a cell phone. If you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. Hey, Martin, what's going on?
Hey, boys, how you doing?
Real good. What's shaking?
Good morning.
All right, I got a question for you. So my house is in the area. Comps are going for around 290.
Yep.
Because of what you're saying, am I dumb to put it at 309 because I think my house is better than the ones that have been selling for, and because it's such a shortage that it would be to my advantage, or am I just better off putting it at 290 and having a bidding war?
Okay. We'll let Chris Staten. Yeah, we'll let Chris Staten talk about that.
All right. Well, right off the top, what I would do, because you're at 290, if that's where it's at, I would probably price it right at 300. And here's why. Because the way people find houses right now is they're sitting in their bedroom at home on Zillow or any other site, and they're doing searches. And search criteria, they say, I want this many bedrooms, this many square feet, this many bathrooms, and I want to look in this price range from X to Y. And in this case, it's probably going to be 250 to 300. If you price it at 299.9, you're going to find those people. Everybody who's sitting at home looking for 300 to 350 is not even going to see your house.
Right.
So if you price it at 300, you actually get both people. You get people looking from 250 to 300, 300 to 350. And here's the ironic part. The people who are looking for the 250 to 300, that's an expensive house for them. That's at the top of their budget. But the people looking for 300 to 350, that's a deal. That's a bargain. And now you get them competing against one another, and you're going to get a more solid offer. And by solid offer, I just mean better terms.
Yeah, just better terms, maybe more offers to look at. Martin, that's some pretty good information you can go with there. One of the things we were talking about, Martin, is what is your motivation to sell? I want to know it. Martin, you there? Oh, we might have lost him.
Oh.
Okay. All right, Martin, we lost you there. Well, anyways, he's on a cell phone. We'll check it out next time. If you want to join the show, 248-539-9797. Chris, that's what we're talking about this morning. And Becky, we've been joining in this conversation off the air about the inventory, but there's nowhere to go. What's the plan? And you said this is a really tricky industry right now.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of real estate agents say, hey, the market's great. And I would just disagree. I would say it's tricky because you really have to maneuver and listen to what your clients are trying to accomplish and get them from point A to point B seamlessly.
Correct.
So, for example, I have a listing that is coming on the market today. It's out in Milford. It's on Hunter's Lake. It's beautiful, and the clients are great people, but they're looking to downsize. They're looking to downsize, and the first question I have for them is, well, where are you going to go? What's next? and there's not a lot of options out there.
As you list that house, do you find yourself, pretty much saying, "Hey, look, we're going to list your house, but let's get in the car. Tell me your price range. Let's get obviously approved. Make sure they don't have anything that would hold them up from getting a mortgage if that's what they're going to need. And then you get them in the car and pretty much have to see if there's something out there that's going to tickle their fancy.
Yeah, I mean, they've looked at nobody. They're looking to move, obviously, from Milford. They've had family out in the West Bloomfield area, so they're looking to move a little further east, and it gets a little bit more competitive. So, out in Milford, it's beautiful, very relaxing. I live in downtown Milford. I love it.
South Lines to the just to the west of you, that's happening, or southwest.
Beautiful. And but when you're moving into, it's basically like saying, I want to move into the higher competitive zone because this house is going to be priced at $750.
Yeah,
and they're moving down into the chaos.
Right, where everyone's bidding multiple bids.
And to piggyback on that, to point out again, every transaction, especially now, purchases have so many moving parts. And what I'm hearing more times than not is the buyer is looking to, or the seller, they're going to sell their house and they're actually entertaining, if not actually renting a month-to-month apartment for some period of time till they find that house, because they know that their house is going to sell much faster than they're going to be able to find another home, because everyone's kind of paying this monopoly where I'm going to not list my house because I can't find a house, but then when I find the house, I'm going to be homeless during a period of time. So there's a lot of occupancy transactions going on right now where the seller is paying the buyer a certain amount of days because they need to stay in the house because their house isn't ready, it's not finished, they're not ready to close yet. So it just seems that you got to be prepared and, like you said, have that conversation in the beginning so that way everyone is on the same page and we're setting the correct timelines to get everyone from A to Z as quickly as possible in a straight line.
There you go. Yeah, 248-539-9797. We take all your calls this morning. Again, always at Capital Mortgage at 1-800-LOW-RATE. Like to hear from you here and definitely live on the radio, though. If you're buying or selling a house, what you've come against or come up against recently, and how's that working out for you? Because it's a very tricky industry right now. The starter homes priced around $200,000. They've never seen a shortage like this. Really, it's something like 250,000 less homes for sale in 2018 than in 2015 in this price range. So a lot of those, as we mentioned, those empty nesters, millennials, first-time home buyers, they're competing against lots of different things now, also including these cash investors. They come from all over the world now. They found out Detroit had an opportunity. Now you're competing against people from all across not only the United States, but across the world that want a piece of what's going on here in Detroit, our regrowth.
Yeah, I have an agent on my team, James, and he's actually from London. So we should have him do all our voiceovers because it's great. Happy Royal Wedding Day, by the way.
Yeah.
And but he has investors from China. Right. And they go buy these houses in Detroit, and now they're looking at areas in Inkster, and they're strong cash buyers.
Yep, they're really strong. They're going to fix up these homes and make them stronger communities and everything. So it is a little bit tougher for the first-time home buyers that are competing against all of those type of people. Again, 248-539-9797. We always like to hear from you live here on The Ticket. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. So many different things going on there. Consumer optimism is fine. That's why the rates have been really trickling up. I mean, the economy is doing quite well. A strong economy typically gives us a little bit higher interest rate. We've seen the bond market make some strides actually yesterday, but we pretty much can predict two things: that Camilla wasn't looking so good this morning. Is that a Prince Charles? And also rates aren't coming down. There's two things for sure here on a Saturday morning that's definitely going on. You guys chuckling back there a little bit, the Camilla joke? You saw her? Yeah, not so good. All right, we'll keep it to mortgages and real estate. Definitely, Beck, one of the other things, too, is a lot of families, Harry mentioned this last week. It was sort of interesting that, as we were talking, rates aren't going to be down forever. Boy, it sure seemed like as they were just jumping up over the last 3 or 4 months, there are a lot of families that didn't take advantage last year or the year before, and now they're looking to consolidate their debt.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. You have a lot of potential borrowers where I'm going to wait till the rates are at 3. Call me when they're at 3.125. Call me when they're at 3 1/4. And now you're getting that phone call where it's at a 15-year fix is at 4.125. Okay, I'm ready to do it. I need to remodel my kitchen. Let's see if we can pull some cash out. It is kind of ironic how you wanted to, a lot of people wanted to hold out because they thought they're going to go to zero, and here we are. The pendulum swings the other way, and you're looking at higher interest rates that clearly are not this time next year. I do truly believe they're going to be higher than where we're at right now.
Yeah, escalating prices is definitely hard to keep up with, and then of course a little bump in the interest rates. It doesn't appear though that it's holding anyone back. Definitely, maybe this bump in interest rates has made some more buyers come out of the woodwork and say, "Hey, look, I better get into a home before I can't afford a house anymore." We've seen that across the country too, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's driving that is you said it earlier, customer or consumer satisfaction, or confidence. They have jobs, there's stability. And so when they feel stable and they feel like, oh, I have some money in hand, then they can start doing these projects. They can start doing, those renovations, or they can start looking for the home that they want with the features and benefits that they want. But that's a lot, a lot of things are great in Southeast Michigan here. Amazon just opened up in Livonia.
Right. Lots of new jobs.
1,000 new jobs.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
That's an impact, and that creates stability. That creates confidence. That creates the opportunity to move, and that's
Amazon
all the pressure.
Prime, how I curse you and those unnecessary purchases. It's almost as bad as going to Target.
I'm glad you brought that up. Exactly. Who knows? Hopefully they won't take over
My
the whole
brother.
I just
My brother-in-law's
bought a couch on
addicted.
Amazon.
All right, 248-539-9797. We're up against a quick little break here, but when we come back, we'll go to David from White Lake and all the other calls. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All righty, we're back on 9:31. If you're just waking up, I can't say it's a gorgeous day out there, but it's a beautiful day anyways.
Not a bad day.
Get out there and enjoy. Every day's a good day. 248-539-9797. We take all your calls here on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. Again, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always looking to educate our buyers out there. Interest rates have burped up a little bit. Boy, we looked back and saw what the Fannie Mae prediction was for this year. They were a little off. The Mortgage Bankers Association, however, has been right on the money, and their prediction so far this year for 2018 does show still a trending upward in the world of interest rates. So again, get out there. If you haven't refinanced yet, take a look at it. Debt consolidation loans are fantastic. So much equity in the homes. Ian, you know that. Ian Mason from Premier Real Estate out on the east side. Ian, it's been really great because the families that you got into homes in 2010 and 2011, even before that, they've got a ton of equity in their house. It looks like home ownership was the right thing for them.
It's definitely the right move. That added a lot of wealth to that generation. It's kind of an amazing feature now. The trick, though, is how do you sell it and buy another one that you're happy with, because the prices are just soaring.
Right. If you're going to sell it to high right now, you're buying it to high, right?
Right.
So that could be an issue. But people the baby boomers, my age,
well, for you,
a little bit older, what we're looking to do is we're looking to get out of our colonial style houses. And if you don't have a first floor master, we're looking at not going up the stairs anymore. We want to sell a house. We want a ranch or something with a first floor master. And that's what you're seeing. That's what the trend is right now. Problem is there's only a little over a 2-month supply of inventory. There's about a 2.5-month supply. A 6-month supply is considered normal. So there's less than half the normal supply. So you're not going to find that. So people that, sure, they can maximize their sale, but where are they going to go on the buy end?
Brought to you by LuLaRich Chevrolet. Tigers and Mariners again tonight in Seattle. It'll be a 9:10 first pitch right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Mike Fiers for Detroit against James Paxton for Seattle. Tigers led a 4-0 entering last night's seventh inning. Michael Fulmer rolling. They'll give it up 3 singles until the seventh. Then the roof caves in. A 5-run seventh for Seattle against Fulmer and the Tiger bullpen, who was a disaster last night. And the Mariners beat the Tigers 5-4. They coaxed 4 walks in their first 6 at-bats in that fateful seventh inning. Meanwhile, Stanley Cup playoffs. How about the Las Vegas Golden Knights? 3-2 winners over the Winnipeg Jets, giving them a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals. Looking to become the first ever expansion team to make the Stanley Cup Finals with one more victory. Tonight out east, Washington's at Tampa in the Eastern Conference Finals. That series tied at 2. NBA playoffs tonight in Cleveland. Cavaliers trailing the Celtics 2-0. 8:30 p.m. they'll drop the puck on the PGA Tour. It's Mark Leishman at the midway point of the Byron Nelson Classic with a 36-hole tournament record of 15 under par, breaking the previous record held in part by one Eldrick Tiger Woods. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
Download the all-new radio.com app and listen to 97.1 The Ticket anytime, anywhere. 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:32. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Hey, that's where you'll find Becky Alley right next to me.
Hey!
And she's fun and exciting. We have a whole staff of professionals, and that's the thing is, talk to real people that have the knowledge to give you all sorts of information so you can make the right decision. I always say the knowledge gives you the confidence to move forward. And not only that, you know, and Chris, you'll jump on this. We'll go to some calls, but it should be fun to buy a house, right?
Oh, yeah, that's the best part.
I mean, the best part is really enjoying the whole experience and moving in and meeting the neighbors and, of course, growing equity and having a tax write-off is not a bad deal either. 248-539-9797. Move off to some calls, and let's go to John first in Commerce. Good morning, John. Welcome to our show.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Go ahead. What's your question?
I'm just wondering if the inventory in northern Michigan is the same, and I'm talking specifically about like cottages and vacation type homes. We've had something in the family for several years, and it's just we don't get up there enough, and I'm just looking at prices myself online thinking, boy, it looks like things are going up there as well as what you guys were talking about down here in the kind of the single family home market. So I'm just wondering if it's as tight up there as it is down here, and are you seeing those values go up significantly as well?
Yeah, generally speaking, you can paint a broad brush and just say, the market is low inventory. There's typically more buyers than there are sellers currently. You can get into specifics. It depends on the price point. If you get into luxury homes and things of that nature, that is a whole different market. A $1 million home is not going to sell in 30 seconds like a $250,000 home in Plymouth. It just is different. And so if you go up north and you've got cottages, you're looking for a very specific type of buyer. And so when you're looking to sell, you obviously think about like the pool of buyers and then start weeding it down. Like how many people can afford this? How many people want this type of home? How many people want maybe a second home? So the days on market might take a little bit longer for a secondary home, but without knowing and pulling up some numbers. And I have tools to be able to do that. So I'll just give you a call after show.
But inventory-wise, does it seem like that there's low inventories on that? And I know, like you said, it's a broad market, but, I'm talking about, 50-foot, lot on Lake Huron, small cottage type thing that it seems like, again, to me, things are just really high when it comes to looking at the prices.
I wouldn't want to speak out of turn, and I typically never do just say whatever, but I can pull it up. I do have the tools to look, and then I can answer that question.
That's for sure going to be a specific buyer.
Hey, John, I love that kind of stuff. John, you're on Huron. You got like a 50-foot lot, a house over there. Whereabouts is it? What city?
Tawas.
I was going to say, is it East Tawas?
It's
one of my favorite areas. I know you're going to say that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You might get some guys like me who...
you want to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just never know.
Who doesn't want lakefront property?
Well, a couple cool things that we do is definitely we'll call after the show, John. But if you want to just... try it for sale by owner. We have our Capital Mortgage site where we list some homes out there that are listed. Maybe call a real estate agent up there and get some professional help on it. Again, you can put a sign up and agents can start marketing, and you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to get it listed and then find out if there's a market for that. And then again, maybe you'll be dumping it. But anyways, I feel like I want to join in with you and split it. You know, you hear so many times.
Right.
We get all those calls, Becky, all the time that says, hey, me and my cousin, my brother, we all want to buy a place up north.
Yeah. We got everyone buying this house up north. We're going to split it in. How can we do it? All that.
Yeah.
It's an LLC. How can we work it out? But that's definitely going to be, I think I want to check out your property. So have Chris call you and we'll check it out.
Well, thanks for the call, John.
I've got 2 buyers for you.
Well, and you just never know. Word of mouth is really good, but a lot of exciting opportunities out there, and of course, the lake properties are really happening right now. As soon as the weather break, everyone wants that opportunity. Hey, let's move off to David in White Lake. David, thanks for staying on the line. Appreciate it. Go ahead with your call.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Real good.
Great.
Hey, I sold my real big house to get out of a house with no mortgage, and I've been working on it. And I'm kind of in a hole right now using something on my credit card because we've come into a lot of different problems. And I'm just about ready to move in, but I need some more money to finish it. Everybody I talk to says I need to be living in there to get a mortgage.
Well, typically it should be an occupied home. Now, is there do you have permits pulled? What are you doing? What's the construction you're doing to the home?
Well, everything. I've stripped the whole inside, the outside. It's all been redone. New cabinets, new walls, new insulation, new windows. I mean, the whole thing was gutted, but I had some structural problems, and it took me a couple months longer. So paying where I lived and then doing this, put me about $10,000 behind.
Becky, I'm thinking we got to qualify them. David, I'm thinking that what we need to do is qualify you and see if we can get you a renovation loan to finish up the house.
Yeah, there's either you can go FHA.
That's what I was wondering, because everybody says I got to be living there. And it's like, how can I be living in there if I need the money?
No, you don't have to be living there. No, not at all. Of course, you can't be living there because the house isn't even habitable at this point.
Yeah.
No, but I got about 3 more weeks and I'm in. I just need that little bit of money and pay off the little bit of stuff that I've already borrowed to get in there.
Right, and we were kind of addressed this briefly in the beginning of the show, where there is the 203K where you're able to finance any cost of repairs for your home, and there's also a conventional program as well. So I do think that's something that's worth us looking at for you, especially because if you're depleting your assets, you're now going to be house poor. You don't want to be living month to month because you're trying to get this house exactly as you want. Let the loan program work for you so that way we can kind of keep that money in your pocket while you're able to make your house exactly and perfect just the way that you want. So I definitely think we should give you a call after the show and see if we can get you qualified.
Yeah, David, I hope you qualify. Credit's good, income's good. We're going to be in business with you.
Yeah, and the house is paid for. I paid cash for the house. I mean, I don't own them. I don't own anything on the house. Just some credit card problems right now just to do what I'm doing.
Okay, then from what you're saying, I think there's actually multiple different scenarios that we can discuss with you. Maybe the 203K isn't the way to go, or renovation. So we'll take a look at that when we give you a call, and we'll just make sure we're setting you up for your goals, and we'll talk about it. I think it's worth looking at, though, for sure.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, Dave. Appreciate that. That's interesting, right? Because sometimes we'll go to someone's house and we're like, you know what? No, this is fine. It'll actually pass.
Yeah.
And which means then you could move into it, and then subsequently we do a cash out refinance and keep the cost down a little bit. Again, when you get into more of an FHA 203K, there's a few more inspections, and the closing costs are a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a lot more. There's more moving parts with the 203K or any kind of renovation loan. It's a longer process, and a lot of it is just, again, having that conversation in the beginning, setting the goals, and just making sure we're placing you in the right programs. And we are qualified professionals over at Capital Mortgage Funding. We're not trained in scare tactic to pressure you in a certain direction. We're trained in identifying what is going to be the best program, but also we're going to share our opinion, but you're in the driver's seat. It's ultimately up to you what you're going to want to do at the end of the day. So we can present what our expert opinion is based on the situation, but ultimately it's going to be your decision on what's going to serve you and your family the best way.
Yeah.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. I tell my clients, if you're going to call Becky and you want money, think about this. Slow down for a second. I'm going to call this person and I'm asking them for money. You better tell them everything. Tell them everything. Here's why. Don't hide things. Don't say things that you don't want them to kind of know. They're going to find out. It's better if they take the approach to say, these people are giving me money. They want to give me money, but tell them everything so that they can put you in the right program.
There you go.
You have a wide array of programs that are available to you. And as a real estate agent, I don't want to keep track of all the programs. I want to be able to have them call. I want the resources to say, I have relationships with people who know what they're doing. And if you tell them everything,
the truth shall set you free.
The truth shall set you free. Actually, the truth will get you in a home.
Yes.
All right. 248-539-9797 here here live in the studio. A couple things to throw out you, and we'll go to a couple calls. Home prices jumped April 7.6% from the previous year. Chris, you're telling everyone the same thing that we're hearing out there. Asking prices, yeah, definitely. They're getting 98.8%, and we saw stats that 23 to 24% of offers in 2017 were all over asking price. So you better have your ducks in a row and have some professional people behind you. Let's move off to Jason in Clinton Township. Good morning, Jason. You're live on the ticket. Go ahead.
Hi. As of right now, me and my wife, we just bought our house in December, and we had been informed that we might be able to refinance to try and get rid of PMI soon. And I was just curious because my wife wants to get a pool, in-ground pool put in. I was wondering what our best option is. If we were able to, like with the market going up, are we going to be able to like maybe appraise for enough to get rid of our PMI? We only put 10% down.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we bought.
Well, first of all, when your pool's done, invite us over because we're going to have a pool party.
Amen. Amen. 90-degree day.
But yes, it's definitely worth looking at what the property values has increased since you purchased your home. Obviously, you're saying it was December of this like December 17?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, it hasn't been that long, but depending on where your area is, obviously, I'm not sure where's your house located?
Clinton Township.
Oh, Clinton Township. Okay. So that market actually has improved a little bit. I don't know if it would exactly be at that 20% enough to pull that cash out because you do, in fact, need to have at least 20% equity to even entertain any kind of pulling out of any equity out of your home. So not only do you want to make sure that your equity is above what you owe on the property, but you also want to make sure to get rid of that PMI, but you're also looking to see if maybe you can pull a bit of additional money out to get this pool so that way you're not dipping into your own funds, let the equity work for you. So it's definitely going to want to start with maybe even Chris can even pull an analysis on the property.
Yeah, that's a great start.
See what the a more accurate idea of what the property value is, and then we can assess that payment and see what we can do as far as pulling cash out.
Jason, stay on the line on this conversation. And Chris, this is what I'm thinking is, he just did buy it, obviously, Christmas time, 2017. But here we are. It's not quite we're not even into summer yet. We're still spring. I think Jason has this great opportunity where if homes sell for top dollar May, June, July, August, I hate to say it, he might miss the boat on the pool this year, but we probably need to see this year's comparable sales over the summer because we're looking here at roughly nationally 7.2% increase. That might be that extra bump that he needs.
Clinton Township is, a great community. I've actually sold a couple homes out that way, and but I think that there's been a 10% increase since December. No.
Yeah, right. And we say nationally 7.2%.
Right. Unlikely. However, that being said, it is trending in the right direction. So you have a couple things that are going into play right now. You've got rising costs for purchasing a home. The sale prices are going up. But one of the things it's going to do, I think it's going to level out. I mean, you're going to be tight. Really, if you really want to do that, what I would do is chunk down some money. I'd pay extra on your mortgage. And drive down your principal balance over a couple months and then maybe look at that.
All right, and here's another option too. This actually would qualify for a renovation loan.
Well, there you
go.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can do it. So that we'll give you a call after the show and we'll see what that's going to work out for you.
All right, we got some additional ideas for you, Jason. Thanks for the call. We're going to take all your calls right when we come back. 248-539-9797.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
It is 9:46. I didn't want to talk about the weather. It's weather. And if you just getting up, go out and enjoy the day. If you're brave enough, go out there and check out some open houses. But first, call Capital Mortgage Funding. Get a real strong approval letter. Find out exactly what you qualify for. Find out all the ins and outs of purchasing a house. Again, call Capital 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll set you up with great real estate agents like Ian Mason and his team. Victoria's here, and make real estate really fun. There's a lot of things to avoid when you're purchasing a house. We'll get into a lot of these things, such as not having a true approval letter, not having your funds to close, losing a job, changing your income. Lots of things that can sort of derail your mortgage and in getting the purchase. But Ian, you've talked about something else, a good way to sell your house that sort of people are skeptical about. Go ahead with that one. You showed me the card.
Oh, you're asking about cash investor purchase for homes. It's certainly not for everybody. I mean,
okay.
You're not going to sell a retail home to a cash investor, but grandma's home that's been deteriorated, or maybe a home that's recently had a fire or something that's beyond the average person's ability to rehab and things of that sort. I mean, we're all familiar with derelict property, things where the city's coming down and tickets, and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, a situation where the seller wants it gone in 7 days, not 30 to 40.
Right, wants or needs it gone. I think the question came up. There's a lot of scam artists out there, and is that a decent way to sell something?
Right. I see that when I'm at an intersection and I see it on the side of the road, it says, I'll pay cash for houses.
Will pay cash for home.
Correct.
On that $2.99 sign.
Yeah.
I know a guy that will.
Obviously, in any industry,
Sorry, Kevin.
or any business, there's going to be scam artists and unscrupulous people and things like that. But
$97.1 The Ticket.
All righty. 9:48 if you're just joining us. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Get out there and enjoy the day today, and definitely call Capital 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You'll talk to real professionals. Get a strong approval letter. That's the key. An approval letter that's been run through, Becky, we talk about all this all the time.
Correct.
That's literally been run through the DU system. It's approved eligible. Then we've collected all the documentation to support the funds to close, and we're ready to go, and we're closing transactions, so many of them, between literally 15 and 25 days.
Yeah.
I've never closed this many loans like that. But again, then there's the other half of clients back that are still taking over 30. They don't have their ducks in a row.
Yeah, it's like to be honest with you, to piggyback on that, yes, we can get transactions done in 15 days. You have agents saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. We just turned this PA on the 15th. Can you close it by the end of the month?" Yes, as long as everyone has their life together.
Right.
Which means pay stubs, documentation of any large deposits, your bank statements. It's so important because our efficiency is contingent upon our buyers, our clients, our real estate agents' efficiency to get us these documents all in a row. So so you have a person where they're just a little bit hesitant, they don't have all their funds in the bank account just yet. You have these conversations in the beginning. Are you getting a loan?
Right.
Is it going to be a gift? Is it a 401k loan? I'm sorry to be specific. Are you getting a gift from a family member? We need to get the proper forms documented and in our possession so that way we can present the case for the underwriter. Because you have to understand, underwriter doesn't know what's going on. It is our job to present a story for them from beginning to end that this is where they work, this is what they've been doing the last 2 years, and this is where we're going and what they're trying to do with this new loan, this new mortgage, whether it's a cash out, whether it's a purchase. So it's extremely important. So you can't get mad at Capital Mortgage Funding because you decided that you weren't going to get your funds in the row right before we're closing.
Well, one of the things is it's back to what I said earlier that you got to remember you're asking someone else for money.
Yeah.
I've sat down with a lot of brand new first-time homeowners, and they're like, well, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to do this. And you're like, whoa. I think we have the wrong mindset here. You're wanting to go and borrow $200,000. Let's make that humanized for just a second. Like, hey, Harvey, I'd like to borrow $200,000. You're probably going to ask me, why? What are you going to buy?
Yeah.
What do you do? Are you employed? I'm a good guy. Trust me, Harvey, that doesn't fly for $200K, and it wouldn't fly for you either. So the more you have your stuff in a row and you're ready to go, and you almost want to tell Capital Mortgage, you want to be like, look, here's why you want to give me $200,000. I'm a great investment. I'm going to pay this back. We're going to have a great deal together because I'm going to buy a great home. And here's my W-2s, here's all my stuff, my assets.
All right, here's another
and there
thing.
you go.
Right, here's another thing. Everyone's busy. I'm busy. I'm busy driving. I'm busy working. I'm busy cutting my grass. I'm busy on Facebook.
Right.
Okay. The point is, you got to figure out the best way that's going to work for you. Every person is different. Every mortgage is different. Some people like to be on their phones constantly. We have a Capital Mortgage Funding app. It's also known as Fairway, right?
Yep.
Fairway Now. It looks like this. Okay. You're able to scan documents. You can follow the loan process. You can download the app and you can apply for the mortgage. You can hit contact, and literally my phone is going to ring because we are constantly working. Let's just say you're on your computer all the time. Go to Low Rate Online. So go to our staff. Select a mortgage loan officer that you think is going to best fit your needs. Apply online that way. You can send your mortgage information, your fax, your documents, whatever. We're always accessible. But the difference between Capital Mortgage Funding and your online lenders, or even your people that want to be on the phone and push a button and go to Moon Mortgage, the difference between Capital Mortgage and everyone else is that you can literally come to our office and shake our hand. Sit in front of me. Let's talk about it. Talk to Harvey. You're literally going to get us on the phone. You're not going to get passed off to somebody else. And even if you're using our Fairway Now or Capital Mortgage Funding app, you're literally connecting with me. You're not talking to 10 other people like, oh, now you're in processing, so you're getting pushed off to somebody else. You're literally with us all the time.
So we make it easy. We save you money. You're going to save money on closing costs, get a great
Speed of
interest rate,
response.
and get great professional advice. And again, as I mentioned often, the professional advice gives you the confidence to move forward, make great decisions for your family. Good stuff. I like all that. Hey, I got something to mention real quick, and then we'll go right back into mortgages. 248-539-9797. I have to mention today, your house needs a pet. Would you believe it? Today's the day when you go to the Detroit Zoo and you find yourself a pet, a cat, a dog. Make your home or make your house a home by adding a pet to it. I want to throw that out there because I'm an animal lover, and of course my girlfriend will kill me if I don't say anything about it. But if you don't have any pets out there, again, if you think you're responsible, if you're home enough, if you got the right schedule, then a pet makes sense for you, but it's not for everybody. But again,
we're dog friendly at Capital Mortgage Funding.
We're animal friendly.
There is not animal friendly. Yeah, there is not a day of the week that you're not going to see some kind of animal. Dog, mainly, but everyone brings their dogs. They're friendly. We love it. Big animal lovers. So
it's
I
always
love that.
fun stuff.
Yeah, I love that you touched on that.
Good. Also, Chris, I wanted to touch on real quick the sellers contingencies. We've always had these contingencies for buyers. Now we're in the world where there's sellers contingency. Last night I had a phone call, and it's so important to talk to people. And I told Brian, I said, Brian, thanks for calling me. I told him to call me back immediately. He wants to buy a new house. But his house is going to sell immediately. But he's afraid that if he sells his house, and so often, this is what we're hearing right now, if he sells his house, he might not be able to find something, get under contract, and he's left homeless. Right. So we talked about this. We can put everything in a purchase agreement. We can spell it out that he can accept an offer to sell his existing home, and if something goes bad,
right,
he can get out of that transaction.
If you write it all down, here's what it comes. You're dealing with contracts. So you have your purchase agreement. You can write an addendum. And while you're not an attorney or anything like that, you can have an attorney look at it if you really want to. But just write it down. And most times people can come to an agreement. And I found that you want to write it down.
Yeah, the key is writing everything down because, like you said, these are contracts. Yeah, these are contracts. There's additional comments under purchase agreement contracts. You can do an addendum, submit an addendum to this. And I think when I was done talking with him, I'll talk to my friend Brian a little bit later today and find out what happened with this conversation. But there's no doubt he can give himself that confidence knowing that, hey, I'm going to sell my house, but if for some reason we're 4 weeks down the road and the sellers won't go ahead and move forward, or he runs into an appraisal issue, that he can say to these buyers, look, I can't do it right now, but let me keep looking. Or he might go ahead and say, you know what, they've already done all of it. I can move out. In this particular situation, he has a place to move to. He can live in with his parents or temporary rent. We're seeing a lot of families
absolutely.
do this.
If you just put it in the contract and you just spell out the timelines, that's what most contracts are. They just have timelines and terms and agreements. And just like you and I are having this conversation now, we could just write that down. Be like, yeah, I'm going to move out by this date, or we're going to close by this date. We're going to have this much money. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That's all that is. And so if you're going to do an addendum to it or you're going to add something to it, you have the main bulk of the purchase agreement, which covers everybody's interests, and then you're just adding your own extra parameters to it.
Speaking of contracts too, I think I probably have three if not four on my desk where the selling side is recommending, if not preferring, that they will not accept an offer unless they have been pre-approved by a local lender, because the reality of it is that everyone's getting away from the online lenders. They want someone to be pre-approved by a local bank or local financial institution, capital mortgage funding, where they know and trust that is an actual bona fide pre-approval. Because anyone can sit behind a desk and say, I pre-approve you for $1 million. Cool. That doesn't mean anything until the loan closes. Our job is to make sure that you're fully pre-approved to make sure that we have a loan that's going to close. Are you seeing a lot of that, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not much different than going online and becoming an ordained minister.
You can do that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Hey, Chris Dayton from eXp Realty. Want to thank you for coming in again. It was your second time in. We'll get you back again. You're always fun to have in the studio.
Hey,
really
real quick, want to shout out happy anniversary to my sisters Sarah and Mike. 17 years.
Oh, yeah.
hey.
Actually, my mom and dad are 39 today.
There you
39
go.
years.
All right, everyone's celebrating. All right, get out there and enjoy your day. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Call Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll see you next Saturday.
Hi, Harry Glanson Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.